If you're home alone right now, maybe check that the door is locked. Because this story starts the exact same way every missing person story does, with someone who thought they were safe. Her name was Sarah. And 3 weeks ago, she vanished without a single scream, without a struggle, without a trace. But that's not even the scary part. The scary part is what she left behind. Sarah Mitchell was 26 years old. She worked mornings at a small café on the corner of Maple and 5th, the kind of place with the bell on the door and regulars who knew her order before she said it. Her best friend, Rachel, remembers that last Tuesday like it was frozen in time. She was laughing about something stupid on her phone. Rachel would later say 1 minute she's at the counter. The next, she's just gone. No goodbye. Nothing. Sarah's car was still in the parking lot. Her purse was still on the table. Her coffee was still warm. People don't just vanish mid-sentence, but Sarah did. For the first 48 hours, everyone assumed the obvious. Maybe she left on her own. Maybe she needed space. But then her family started searching her apartment, and that's when the first normal explanation stopped making sense. Because someone had been in her apartment after she disappeared, and they hadn't come to take anything. They'd come to leave something behind. Taped inside her closet, behind a row of winter coats, they found a notebook. Handwritten. Sarah's handwriting, but different, smaller, shakier, like she'd been writing in the dark, or writing fast, afraid someone might catch her doing it. Page after page, the same phrase repeated, over and over. The whispers will guide you. At first, investigators thought it might be lyrics, or notes for a story she was writing, but then they found the dates. Each entry was time-stamped, and every single one was written between 2 and 4 in the morning. The exact hours she wasn't sleeping. The exact hours, neighbors later admitted, they sometimes heard her talking to someone through the wall. Except she lived alone. When word got out in town, theories spread faster than the search parties could move. She found something she wasn't supposed to find. One neighbor whispered to a local reporter. Another was blunter, she'd gotten into things she shouldn't have messed with. Nobody could agree on what things meant. But almost everyone agreed on one detail. Sarah had been asking questions about a house. A specific house, one that most people in town had spent years trying very hard not to talk about. 2 miles outside of town, past where the streetlights stop, sits a house nobody's lived in for over 30 years. Locals call it the Hollow Creek House. Officially, it's condemned. Unofficially, it's the kind of place teenagers dare each other to walk past, never inside. Detective Aaron Wells was assigned to Sarah's case, and when he pulled her recent search history, his stomach dropped. Property records, newspaper archives, a decades-old missing persons file for a teenage boy who disappeared from that same house in 1994 and was never found. It's like she was building a file, Wells said. Like she knew something was going to happen to her, and she wanted someone to be able to follow the trail. When officers searched the property, they found something that made even the most experienced investigators go quiet. Sarah's cardigan, folded, not dropped, not torn, folded neatly on the staircase, like she'd taken it off on purpose and left it as a marker. It's as if she wanted us to find her, Wells admitted, or wanted us to find our way in. That night, temperatures dropped to near freezing. But when a K9 unit reached the top of the staircase, the dog wouldn't go further. It planted its feet, backed away, and refused every command. Handlers said they'd never seen that dog refuse an order in 6 years of service. 4 days after the search stalled, Sarah's closest friends decided they couldn't wait for the police anymore. Rachel, along with 2 others, Jake and Mia, drove out to Hollow Creek after midnight, flashlights and phones in hand, telling no one where they were going. "We just wanted answers," Rachel said. "We thought maybe there was something the police missed. We didn't think." She stopped there. She still won't finish that sentence. Inside, the house was worse than they imagined. Just undisturbed for years except for a single set of footprints leading upstairs, small, Sarah's size. "Did you hear that?" Jake whispered, freezing mid-step. Somewhere above them, something shifted, slow, deliberate, like weight settling onto old floorboards. "We're not splitting up," Mia said. "No matter what happens, we stay together." They followed the footprints to a bedroom at the end of the hall, and that's where they found the door. Not a normal door. A door that had been drawn on the wall in what looked like charcoal, life-sized, detailed down to the hinges, except it wasn't just a drawing. Behind a loose panel of drywall exactly where that drawn door stood, they found a hollow space, and inside it, a locked box. Inside the box, photographs. Dozens of them. All of Sarah, taken from outside her apartment window, over what investigators now believe was several months. She hadn't found the house by accident. The house, or whatever was connected to it, had found her first. Tucked beneath the photographs was one last item, a sketchbook, filled entirely in Sarah's handwriting and Sarah's art. Every page was a nightmare rendered in pencil, the same house, the same hallway, drawn again and again with increasing detail, as if she were memorizing it before she'd ever set foot inside. The final page was dated the night before she disappeared. It showed Sarah, from behind, standing in a doorway. And directly behind her, close enough to touch her shoulder, stood a tall, featureless figure. "We need to leave, now," Jake said, already backing toward the stairs. They ran, all three of them, but Mia swears that as they hit the front porch, she felt something behind her, not touching her, just there, close enough that the hair on her neck stood on end, close enough that for one full second, she couldn't move at all. "Something's not right," she said, gasping. Once they were back in the car, "Something followed us to that door." They never went back. Sarah Mitchell has never been found. Her case remains open. Detective Wells still drives past the Hollow Creek house on his days off. He won't say why, only that some cases don't close, they just go quiet. The notebook, the photographs, the drawing of the figure in the doorway. Investigators have no explanation for any of it, only that whatever Sarah was searching for, she found it before it found her. Some say the whispers are still out there, waiting for the next person curious enough to listen. If you ever hear your name in an empty room, don't answer. If you like this story, hit subscribe, because next week, we're going back to Hollow Creek. And this time, we're not stopping at the front door.